Hi everyone, I'm very upset. Oh my god, I'm so pissed. Okay. Yes, the final 2 episodes of Penny Dreadful Season 3. That's it. That's it. There are no more seasons. That's it. They're just cutting the plug. And why? According to my brother, because people are watching the NBA Finals. Fuck the NBA Finals. Fuck that shit. I don't give a crap. No offense to anyone from Cleveland, but fuck you. No. My show's canceled. Thanks a lot, you bastards. Let me calm down for a few seconds. Okay. So, yeah. This was announced last night. I heard it from Rick when he was in my live stream with Game of Thrones. Not last night, I mean 2 nights ago. Sunday. And yeah. Saw the final episode. Pretty much it's it. This is it. The end said the end. So let me try to piece together what actually happened in these final 2 episodes. Episode 8 was called Perpetual Night. And episode 9 was called The Blessed Dark. Now, from episode 7, Dorian Gray takes Lily to Dr. Frankenstein. It's Dorian Gray, it's Frankenstein, it's Dr. Jack. We know that's happening. Oh, by the way, nobody, not a single character from this show, every character, got nothing. Got absolutely nothing. So the goals that they were trying to achieve, well, one person did get something. Vanessa. But it's not what you think. So, episode 8, Perpetual Night, pretty much, it's basically the therapist. She encounters the secretary, that guy who's, he ate a frog. Ugh. It's disgusting. But, you know, she's encountering things. And episode 8 pretty much focuses more on that. Well, not really. Ethan and the guys, Pachi and Malcolm, they show up. They find out what's going on. So they get attacked while they go to the house. And that kind of happens. And they basically encounter this woman who, the one that was helping out Vanessa, and so on and so forth. And Apache's there as well. And they're trying to figure out what's going on. So, during this sequence in episode 8, Ethan tries to go to find Dr. Frankenstein. Freaking help Malcolm, because he got bit. I thought Ethan was going to encounter him with Lily. And that's another thing that was never, it's just, never found out about it. Okay, that's lovely. By the way, this is going to be episode 8 and 9, so I'll do 2. But instead of encountering Dr. Frankenstein, Ethan encounters this little kid, and he meets up with Dracula, the dragon. And what was good about episode 8 is we find out Hikate is a werewolf. I'm like, the fuck? So that happened, and there's this scene with all flashing at the fucking night creatures and shit. Now, when I said that, no one got, I really mean it. No one in the series of events got what they wanted. Now, Lily did manage to escape her situation by explaining to Victor about her life before she was, you know, the whole thing with the, you know, Sarah, the before her. She explains that to Victor, so she kind of gets out of that situation. So he doesn't do the operation. He doesn't put that thing in her eye. And she manages to escape. The other thing that happens, Dorian Gray leaves and he goes to the house that they have. The one who's really fond of Lily, she stabs him with a knife in his heart and does nothing. And then it was like, and he's like, leave, you know, he tells her to leave and shit. Tells this girl, the one who's with them, the first one, to leave, to go back to your old life, and she says, I would rather die. And he basically kills her, he snaps her neck. So we have that happening. So in episode 8, essentially, the Lily, Dorian, Dr. Frankenstein thing is coming to a head. And I already could tell from this episode 8 and 9, you could already tell. They fucked it up. They completely fucked it up. They completely just rushing. You can tell the pacing is very fast. Yeah. You know. But that happened. Now, the creature situation, it resulted in, yeah, his son pretty much died. That's pretty much what happened. And he was even saying, like, before that happened, to his son, oh, we're going to go to the Highlands, teach you how to swim, and he's coughing up blood. So I'm like, oh, this isn't good. Comes to a head in episode 9, pretty much, of what happens there. So what ends on happening with Dr. Frankenstein is he lets Lily go. She encounters Dorian in episode 9. I found this very interesting. Dorian Gray was talking about immortality to Lily when she came back to the house, that mansion house they had. And he referenced it in that he's like these portraits. They're dead. They're still dead of yourself. And you never age, you never grow old. And he's like a living portrait. That whole conversation he explained to her, and then she leaves and he says, I'll be right here. And I'm like, shh. So that situation kind of, you know. Now, we see in episode 8 and into episode 9, we find out how Ethan became a werewolf. It was his Indian friend, Hecate. He was given this power, this ability to turn into a werewolf. And he gave that power to Ethan. Oh, it gets better. We find out something else later on in the episode 9 concerning Mina. Now, the problem with this episode 8 and then into episode 9 is this. It's very fast-paced. It's like rushed beyond fucking kazoo. And I'm pissed off how... when you really think about it, when I think about it, with this series, it didn't end terrible. I mean, one person got what they wanted. Because you really think about season 2 and how, well, like, I think that was it. No, that was in season 1. Think about the ending of season 1, and you think about season 2, what happens in the end actually makes sense, whether if it was rushed or not. So, the whole timeline story with Dr. Frankenstein is settled. The whole thing with Lily is settled. So, those are all pushed aside. What's-her-face, the therapist, starts interrogating that guy, who's a secretary. And he basically, by doing the way of hypnosis, is able to show her where his master is. It was disgusting. You got the freaking bodies on the, oh god, that was nasty. So, the only storylines going on at this point, on episode 9, logistically, I mean, the Dorian thing was happening too, and everything else, but the real one that was really, really continuing, which I found interesting, was the creatures. Because his wife starts talking to him about bringing their son to Dr. Frankenstein, and he protests. He persists. He says, no, I will not have him like that. He will not be a freak, an undead thing. So, and she gives him an ultimatum stating, if you don't do that, then you can't come back here. I found it intriguing that the final scene we see in this episode is the creature. I find that intriguing. It's like, oh, that was an interesting way to go. Now, let's talk about Vanessa. What happened? Pretty much, what ends up going on is to get to the warehouse. Ethan and Kate are going through a sewer system into the warehouse. It's a warehouse for like meat, slaughtered animals and stuff. And we fight the undead. Malcolm finds out from Dracula the only reason he took Mina was so he could get to Vanessa. That pissed off Malcolm. It really pissed him off. He started talking about her flesh. This guy. The only thing that I found disheartening about this situation, they didn't kill him. No. He just disappeared after certain events happened. But then basically the ending sequences, they're fighting the undead in the place. Malcolm's able to sneak by Dracula to get to where Vanessa is. And this conversation, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? The whole conversation, this whole thing with Vanessa started in like the end of season 1 into season 2. The whole thing about her being haunted, her being cursed. If this continues, there's never going to be an end. So, in her eyes, what for Ethan to do is he has to kill her. So they're saying the whole prayer thing, hallowed be thy name, that king, the whole kisses her, it says the prayer, and he shoots her. So Vanessa's dead. But he comes out with her. Dracula just disappears. He just goes. Clouds part. The fog. There was this fog pestilence thing going on. It parted. Sun came out. It's like a sign of God. And I'm extremely pissed off that we got this because it's the fact that they are not continuing the series. And why? According to my brother, it was the same night that the NBA Finals was on. But hey. Want to watch some stupid basketball game, or let's watch Penny Dreadful? I think Penny Dreadful's a little more important. Hey, that's just me. But closing events, basically, they come to terms with it. Ethan saying she's at peace. And the thing is, if they were going to end it, this is probably the best way. I mean, I don't know what they could have done if they had not said that it was going to end with this season, and they continued it. I'd say, I don't know, those hard things, And the end result is, Ethan's with Malcolm. They're in the house, Moon's room, saying, he even tells him. He tells Malcolm. And I really liked Malcolm and Ethan in this season. This season, for those two, were like, and in some way, Malcolm probably sees Ethan as his son. And Ethan sees Malcolm as his father. Go figure. But that was like an interesting connection, and they decide, Ethan tells him, you're my family, I'm going to stay here. Now, they bury Vanessa. The creature sets his son to the ocean, and he goes and sees them burying Vanessa. I don't think he sees Dr. Frankenstein. He might, but he sees them doing this. Last moments of the episode, by the way. He goes to the grave, he touches it, and he says this nice poem. Then it fades to black. The end. The end. That's it. The series as a whole, I would say 9.5 out of 10. This season I'm talking about. Not as great as last season, but it had its moments. So I would say 8 out of 10. This episode, I'm not giving it a 5 out of 5 because, well, frankly, I want to give it a 5 out of 5, but just circumstances and this whole thing with them just pulling the plug. It's irate. I'm very angry about this. Sure. But, yes, 5 out of 5. Fantastic episode. Here's the thing. There's only 2 more seasons of Game of Thrones. That's it. And next season's only going to be 8 episodes. So eventually, I'm going to be, So Showtime, you owe me. Showtime and HBO, you owe me a show. That's the way I look at it. They owe me a show. So next season, when Game of Thrones is going on, I want to see a show airing on Showtime at this time. Check. Because they owe me. Because if you're not going to bring back Penny Dreadful, you got to fucking replace it, man. And you got to do it pronto. Dumbass. But, well, it is what it is. I'm very down right now. And even though Vanessa died, the way they did it was horrible. It's very good. Because in the end, when she was about to die, she says, she sees the Lord and everything. And you see how, like, the creature shows up and touches her grave. That was nice. So to close out, I want to give thank you, Timothy Dalton. Timothy Dalton, thank you. Rory Kinner, thank you. Josh, I can't, Ethan, thank you. Don't know the other actors' names, but I only know those ones. Thank you for all the actors and actresses who are in the show. Oh, Evergreen. Especially Evergreen. Thank you, Evergreen. Thank you, Josh. Timothy Dalton. And Rory Kinnear. Rory Kinnear is a fantastic actor. If he was in a movie, any movie, I would go see it right now. I would. Thank you guys for joining for this review, this final review. I'm so upset, man. Yo, Rick, what am I gonna do now? The fuck? What am I gonna do? This is bullshit, Rick. Daniel. What am I gonna do? It's bullshit, man. What are you gonna do? I'm Bob Cananza too. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for anyone who's been viewing these Penny Dreadful reviews. It's over. Oh god. Fuck this shit. Fucking NBA playoffs. I don't mean that. That was a good game. Saw myself. So yeah. I'll see you guys later.